Hello, everybody out there on YouTube. We are the middle-aged guys, and we're bullshitting about nothing. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
Grandma's one.
And we're going to start our videos this week with a little bit of geek news. Earlier this month, this might be a little bit old for some folks, but on September 8th, 2016, Koji Igarashi, the famed producer of the Castlevania series, who went ahead and brought to the fourth Castlevania Symphony of the Ninth, and a multitude of Castlevania 2D games for not only console but also for the portable systems. He is working on his own game now that he's left Konami called Bloodstained: Ritual of the Night. It was a very successful Kickstarter project, crowdfunded over $5.5 million, and it was tentatively set for March of 2017. And his September 8th, I believe September 8th or September 8th, 2016, video update to his Kickstarter backers, he announced that the game would actually be delayed for the reasons that it's not to the quality standards of what he wants to go ahead and release it at. And as a result, he's going to be bringing in a secondary development team, and they're going to be helping him develop the game so that he can now go ahead and hit the projected release date of sometime in the first quarter of 2018. Gentlemen, floor is open. What are your thoughts on that?
No!
Oh.
Yeah. Look, I don't know where to go past that. So we are the middle-aged guys. Once again, for the benefits of common sense, logic, and game. No, man. Fuck. Oh, a second development team. Like what Arkham Knight tried to do?
No, I mean, thankfully they're not porting it out to like 11 different fucking platforms like another well-known Kickstarter project that we all know and love. Yeah, it just seems
so. This is gonna break the Xbox One when it comes out.
Possibly.
Oh no, that was a joke.
We don't know that, but
yeah. Watch it end up breaking the PS4 instead.
Yeah,
no,
or something like that.
Oh,
Gray Mouse, what are your thoughts on this, sir?
I guess I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum. I'd rather it be delayed than come out unfinished and incomplete. And he mentioned in that video, Igarashi-san mentioned that he brought that development company on board so that the game reaches the vision that he wants the game to be at before release.
What happens if there's more delays because of that?
There's just more delays then. I mean, to me, you see, I guess because I didn't back the Bloodstained project, but I understand coming from the backer standpoint, I would be a little upset, but they should be happy that the game's going to be, more complete, more better than it would be if it was rushed out.
You're asking irrational people to be understanding of certain things.
But the thing is, though, at least Igarashi came out and said, "Hey, this is the problem," and I think that's what goes on with what most video game companies or developers should do is be, especially the crowdfunded items should be extremely transparent to the backers. I mean, I think that is a key thing.
But again, no matter what information they put out, if it's anything that's going to delay the game or take away from it, you're asking for irrational people to be understanding here. Now, I'm like you, Gray Mouse. I didn't back this project. And it's not that I wasn't interested or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was just that, okay, I have enough Castlevanias. I played enough Castlevanias. So with this delay, basically right now, it's on the game as far as it is, it's on a level of Castlevania 64. And he wants to get it up to the level of at least Circle of the Moon and maybe to get the Symphony of the Night. You're counting Castlevanias, are you?
Yes, yes.
One
or at least
Castlevania.
At least the ones I have in box.
Two Castlevanias.
Let me
Let me stop. Castlevanias.
Let me stop you from. No game could ever be as fucked up as the fucking 64 Castlevanias, with the exception of the Zelda games that don't exist. We're not going to talk about that.
Wait, so Castlevania 64 don't exist because even they said that doesn't count.
Igarashi on record said, "If you guys could just forget that those even exist."
See, Igarashi says that shit.
But Nintendo didn't say this, that the CDI versions of Zelda didn't exist or didn't count.
Here, let me put it in this perspective.
But look, wait, let's go back on the subject because that's another argument.
This is the subject. Let me put it this way. You know, I fell in love with Igarashi's work, Symphony of the Night. I mean, just the title of the game caught me instantly. Symphony of the Night, and that's exactly what it was. It wasn't
because that just reminded me of the 80s and DeBarge.
The music was just
the rhythm of the night. They just
music,
renamed it in this Castlevania title, but
the music in the game was outstanding. And
but what Castlevania games besides the 64s hasn't been outstanding as far as music or anything like that?
Well, I didn't too much like the Portrait one. I can't remember.
Portrait of the Ruin?
Yeah,
it was great.
Maybe I just haven't played enough of it to have a. But anyway,
you didn't go your portable though, so. So
I have great trust in the Igarashi, especially for his past work on Symphony of the Night, and that was one of the. I mean,
trusted Mega Man creator too.
Who can? I mean, he put two of one of my most favorite games and combined them, Metroid and Castlevania, and he created Symphony of the Night. So whether he can catch that...
Yeah, but look what Metroid is now and look where Konami is.
God damn it, man. Let me finish. Shit. So whether or not Igarashi can catch the proverbial lightning in a bottle with Bloodstained of the Night, we'll have to see. And, it sucks that it's been delayed, but like I said, I'd rather it be delayed, and have an outstanding game than have it come out like, missing parts and, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think, the funny thing is that this one I didn't back. I'm always tempted to go ahead and jump on one of the slacker backers, basically to go ahead and pre-order a copy in essence. But whenever a developer comes out and they say, "Hey, look, we're delaying the game because we want to make it better," I always respect that, especially considering that we're in a time where publishers would rather day one patch things and
or
then
release shit that's not done intentionally.
Yeah, and then just say we'll get around to it. We already got your cash.
Yeah, and I hear that. I 100% hear that. But
I think.
But once again, you're asking for irrational people to understand something not rational.
The thing about it is that I think a lot of people have, just like we had discussed with My Day Number 9, a lot of people have complete misunderstandings of what Kickstarter is there for. Kickstarter is not a fucking marketplace. You are investing things on the risk that it will not work out. It may not work out. Anybody who throws money into any crowdfunded program or something like that has to realize that the only saving grace with this particular delay was that he went out of his way. It's 6 months away, and he was like, "Look, we need more time," and he announced it now instead of doing it 3 months, 2 months,
or a week prior to the game coming,
or the month of the game coming out. Yeah,
exactly. Now, I'm not going to sit there and expect that people are going to understand that, but one thing that a lot of folks have to realize, especially with these guys who are coming out and they've got legacy like Inafune or Igarashi or any of the guys who have broken off from these huge publishers and they're going on their own. I don't know if they realize that these former AAA developers no longer have the backing of these big publishers. And in essence, they are indie developers now.
They are. Absolutely.
And because of that, they don't have the well of resources that they would normally have if they were connected to a big publisher or to their old development teams. Now, I think that also is a double-edged sword because you have these publishers who are used to a certain timeline and a certain schedule and things like that, or these developers who are used to working with a big team, and then all of a sudden they've got a garage door team. Well, wake up and smell the coffee, motherfucker. This is your world.
Yeah.
All right. And this is what you sold to everybody. So, I guess kudos to Igarashi for coming out and being honest about this. And if he continues to come out and be honest about it, and it indeed ends up being very close to what he demoed out to everybody to first push and pitch the game to everybody, then I'm not going to feel too bad. He has to realize, just like what everybody has said here, the people that have already paid into that, they have very, very, very small sets of patience.
Let me ask you guys a question. Would you back a project without knowing when it will come out? As in, like, for an example, I don't know, like a AAA game that's got crowdfunded.
No.
Would you back a game without having a release date?
No.
None of the things that are crowdfunded can start a crowdfunding campaign without a release date. They have to have something.
They have to have one.
Yeah.
That's like, okay, wait. That's like a normal game. Would you say, oh, this game is coming out, but there's no release date? Why the fuck would you pre-order it? That makes no sense. Oh, it's coming.
Well,
I'm still waiting for Ninja Gaiden on the PlayStation 2 because they said that was a list of games that were supposed to come out on the PlayStation 2. Ninja Gaiden was one of them. Still waiting for it.
Aliens Colonial Marines was supposed to come out on the PS1 all the way back in like 1996 when it finally came out. It was
supposed to be PS3.
Yeah. There's a lot of games that are like that. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, the predicted retail, release date, that's part of the campaign. People have to realistically have an idea when they're going to get whatever they pay into, or if they're going to see an return on their investment when they might see that. I mean, anybody who sits there and plays like any of the money market or anything like that, for stocks or things like that, they do the same thing. Hey, or if somebody invests into a project, oh, you're investing into this particular project, I'm willing to go ahead and pay X amount of dollars now because I know somewhere down the line, probably within, I don't know, 6 months to a year, maybe 2 years, that I'm going to get X, Y amount of dollars back. It's the same deal, I mean, but just like any investor, the level of investors that we're dealing with crowdfunders are not professional investors. They aren't in it. They aren't looking at the long game. All the people that are in there, they're either looking at Kickstarter as a fucking marketplace, which is the wrong way to look at it.
Right. Yeah.
Or they're looking at it in short term. Oh, this shit's going to be here soon. All right, let me go ahead and do that.
See, a lot of people
doesn't do well to do that.
A lot of people are worried because of what Mighty Number 9 did. They are linking it up to that. Say again?
And rightfully so.
That's why people are blowing it out of the proportion that the way that they're blowing it out of proportion, because they don't want this to be connected to that as far as failure, as far as an unfinished game, as far as a slow game, as far as a game that didn't meet expectations, no matter the delays, no matter fixing, no matter the the coping with you. And yeah, I'm stroking the back of your head, but I'm fucking you in the ass. They don't want to get to that point.
Well, with the Kickstarter, the thing, Mighty Number 9 was the first quote unquote big game from the Kickstarter. Then we got, you still got a lot of people forget Ukulele. That game's Kickstarter. Shenmue 3 Kickstarted. Bloodstained the Night Kickstarted. So I think people are worried.
Those games that we just named off didn't have a choice.
Well, what I'm saying, no. Let's not even go into that. We're not going there. I'm just talking about the precedent that Mighty Number 9 gave everybody. Like, is that what my money went to for a shitty, crappy game like that? That's what people are thinking in the back of their minds. And then we got all these other titles that are coming out in the near future and the far future. And the backers have every right to worry about that because, like the Reverend said, you take a risk by backing these projects because essentially, just like the Reverend said, is their ID. They're independent developers at this point because there's no big publisher behind them.
I'm just going to say a couple of things and then I'm going to just be out of it. Number one, now with this delay, this, as far as right now, is going to come out after Shenmue 3.
Yeah.
Number two, yeah, all you people out there that were waiting for this, you're going to have to get your Castlevania fix somewhere else. You're going to have to get your Indiana Jones whip and say, bad demons, bad vampires, bad monsters, bad, bad, bad. And your, girly hair and your black outfits somewhere else. And number three, and this is the real problem I have, if Konami dares to bring out something with the Castlevania name and it's going to be better than Bloodstained, we have a serious problem.
You know what's funny is that I've got, with the way that things are going, I wouldn't be surprised if we could expect to see this title, especially since they have a publisher out there handling the physical release for Igarashi. I wouldn't be surprised to see this title come Halloween time, 2018. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see it arrive then.
The question is, will Quicksilver?
So they'll add VR to it.
So
I don't know about that.
So will Quicksilver?
They're gonna have to figure out the NX control.
Yeah. You mean Deep Silver?
Or Deep Silver? I'm sorry. Would they wait that long? Because usually publishers are the one that's pushing people. Get it out now. Get it out now. Get it out now.
Well, obviously, they're okay with it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have told. They wouldn't have okayed it.
I'm talking about like
announcement like that. As far as a delay. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Deep Silver themselves push for, hey, look, if things still look sketchy, we'll go ahead and we'll shoot for October 2018 to go ahead and get it out around Halloween time because it just falls within that vein. I
don't have problems with big publishers, back or helping support the game as long as they don't get their tentacles and start pulling strings and stuff to where it turns into a Mighty Number 9 to where the original, Igarashi loses, quote unquote, creative control over the game.
Oh, Mighty Number 9 was pretty fucked up from the get-go after I did my research. And when I get those videos out, I promise I will, you'll see exactly why I say that. But that's another subject altogether. You were going to say, Theme? No? All right. Yeah, I think with this particular one, a lot of people are disappointed, with due reason. But there are certain things that I think a lot of backers have to sit there and realize that, especially when we have these projects that are run by guys with legacy and stuff like that. These guys with legacy, their legacy was set up when they were still doing AAA stuff with big publishers. And they no longer have those resources. So yeah, you're not going to see it their games aren't going to be released out on the same turnaround of assembly line type efficiency and stuff like that, because they just don't have that sort of manpower. On the other hand, I'd rather have, somebody come out and say, hey, look, the game's not turning out the way that I want it to be. Let me go ahead and delay it out. We're going to go ahead and push it not just a few months back, but way out in the future, so that we've got lots of leeway now. Otherwise, if they just do, oh yeah, we're just going to put it back a few quarters at a time, then they don't leave themselves a lot of slack to play with,
So, about Halloween 2020, we'll see Bloodstained.
Yeah, at this rate, we'll see what happens come first quarter 2018. Any last thoughts, gentlemen?
Nope.
Gray Mouse? Nothing? All righty. With that, folks, thank you for sticking with us all the way up to the end of this video. If you're so kind, hit the like button, hit subscribe, leave us a comment below, especially if you think we've missed anything, or if you have opinions on Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, or Kickstarter in general, or crowdfunding projects that are like this, because guess what? There are a lot more of them popping up every day, and a lot more people are funding their projects this way. We are the three middle-aged guys tonight. We're bullshitting about nothing, and our bullshit ends here. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
Mouse one.
Once again, for the benefits of common sense logic and delays in gaming. No! I was really hoping that they nailed it with this one. Really hoping. I hope Yu Suzuki doesn't delay Shenmue 3. Oh, God. It's already been 16 years. Please don't delay that shit any longer. No! Yeah. Shit. Well, at least we're going to get Castlevanias 1 and 2 with the NES Mini.
Yep.
Credits.
What is a man? Nothing but a pile of secrets.
A miserable pile of secrets. But enough talk. Have at you.